Hi everyone! Do you know there's a goddess of sleep? What would happen if she fell in love with a human? What would you do if your partner turned into a monster? There are many stories about how love became sadness in Greek mythology. But today, we will tell you the top 5 tragic lovers of Greek mythology. I guarantee that they will bring you tears.
Hey, the film is part of the requirements for LAEN 214 Mythological and Biblical Background to Literature. Produced by the second-year students of Faculty of Liberal Arts, Mahidol University, submitted to lecturer Nitina Prishatovikit. Number 5.
Endymion and Selene. Endymion was a handsome young shepherd or shepherd prince, depending on the version of the myth, who lived in the ancient Greece. He caught the eye of Selene, the goddess of the moon, with her chariot drawn by 2 white horses. Selene was so enamored by Endymion's beauty that she descended from the heaven to be with him. In most versions of the myth, Selene fell deeply in love with Endymion and decided to be with him forever. To grant his wish to remain youthful and sleep eternally, Selene asked Zeus to grant him eternal youth and put him into an eternal sleep, so that he would remain beautiful forever. According to some variations, Selene would visit Endymion every night while he slept, bestowing her love upon him in his dreams. The story Endymion and Selene is often interpreted as a romantic tale symbolizing the eternal love between mortals and immortals, or the eternal cycle of the moon. It has been a popular theme in art and literature throughout history, inspiring numerous poems, paintings, and other artistic works.
Let's move on to number 4.
Okay, so the next story, Orpheus and Eurydice. Once upon a time, there was a musician named Orpheus who was deeply in love with his wife Eurydice. Sadly, Eurydice died from snake bite, leaving Orpheus heartbroken. Determined to bring her back, he journeyed to the underworld, the land of the dead. In the underworld, Orpheus played such beautiful music that even Hades, the ruler, was moved. Hades agreed to let Eurydice return, but with one condition. Orpheus must lead her out without looking back until they reached the surface. With hope in his heart, Orpheus led Eurydice out of the underworld, but just before they reached the surface, he couldn't resist the urge to look back to make sure she was still there. Sadly, that glance caused Eurydice to vanish back into the underworld forever.
Now we're in number 3.
Once a humble fisherman named Glaucus lived by the sea. One day, his catch of fish miraculously came to life and swam away. Intrigued, Glaucus ate the grass from the meadow and felt a strong urge to join the sea. He then divided and was transformed into a sea god with a green hair and a fish's tail. Glaucus fell in love with a nymph named Scylla, but she was frightened by his appearance and fled. Desperate for love, Glaucus sought help from Circe, who fell for him, but he remained too faithful with Scylla. Circe, furious, turned Scylla into a monster out of jealousy, then condemning her to misery on a rock. And the story of Glaucus and Scylla teaches us about love's power, jealousy's consequences, and destiny unpredictability.
Number 2.
The tragic love story of Pyramus and Thisbe. There were 2 lovers named Pyramus and Thisbe. They lived in Babylonia, but their parents didn't like each other, so they had to talk through a crack in the wall. One day they decided to run away to get married, so they planned to meet under a white mulberry tree. Thisbe willed to disguise herself. She went there first. While she waited for Pyramus, she saw a lioness. Her jaws were bloody and gradually came to Thisbe. Thisbe fled. She dropped the wheel and hid. The lioness turned to the wheel. She tore and toasted with her bloody jaws and walked away to the forest. Then Pyramus came. He found the wheel with blood and the footprint of a wild beast. so he thought Thisbe was dead. He drew his sword to himself, then his blood ran over the roots of the mulberry tree and dyed the berries with a dark red. Thisbe went back to the mulberry tree and found Pyramus with blood and dying. With the same sword, she stabbed herself and the lovers died together. Their parents found them at the end, and the deep red of the mulberry was the everlasting memorial of these true lovers.
And finally, number 1.
I'm gonna tell you about the love story between Zephyrus and Beatrice. They are a young couple newly married whose love was destined to end in tragedy. They all love each other so much, but one day, Aula, the goddess of dawn, fell in love with Zephyrus. Aura eventually sees Zephyrus at daybreak and bringing him to the heaven while he was asleep. She tried to seduce him, but Zephyrus dressed here in blue and rejecting her. So Aurora retaliated by painting in him seeds of suspicion concerning his wife's faithfulness. A fawn who was in love with Procris mischievously told her that he had overheard Zephyrus talking to a secret lover while he out hunting. Procris followed her husband into the forest to discover the truth and hid in the bushes. Zephyrus is healing the rusting of leaves, so he threw out his spear and killed his own wife.
Those were the top 5 tragic love stories of Greek mythology. But there are many tragic lovers in Greek mythologies that we didn't mention. If you are interested in mythology, either love stories or any others, we would like to recommend a book by Edith Hamilton, which contains every story in Greek mythology, legends, and folklore. Last but not least, we would like to end our presentation now, but you can check out more details by yourself. Goodbye and thank you for your kind attention.